again.
Yeah.
Hey man, I wish you were here yesterday.
Yeah.
Because we went through a lot of things yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, we're hoping that, it's going to be smooth, the transition.
Yeah.
But now, it's almost as if we jumped in a boat and now you left behind.
Yeah.
You somehow managed to get in.
Yeah.
So I don't know
Yeah.
how we're going to do this. Today we had planned to talk about meditation and attention.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But funny enough, just before coming, see the thing is I never have a topic. I never have a specific subject that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
It kind of comes to us,
Sure.
or whatever that we're doing leads to that specific subject.
Cool.
So early on, as I was coming, first thing, I was very hungry, so I bought a McDonald's. I'm ready. I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna eat, go there, be ready. Everything is perfect.
Yeah.
Then Coke just spilled over my thing, and I'm thinking, oh my God,
Yeah.
So in my head, and then I started thinking, oh, so I have this thing that we need control. Somehow, some way, we always want to control things, right? We plan ahead, and then we say things will go this way.
Yeah.
But somehow we've never learned that they
And
never
the funny
go.
part is, you know what happened to me too today?
Yeah.
I actually spilled my cool drink. Like, lucky it just fell and it just spilled on my cakes, and then I was like,
sorry about that, man.
Yeah, nah, it's cool. It's cool.
So
it's
I was coming, I said to myself, I think we should
Yeah.
talk about control first
Cool.
before going to meditation and attention.
Yeah.
So I try my best to kind of put you to the same page. Tutu and I have been talking for many years now, 2 years now. But I would say we had a proper discussion end of last year.
Yeah.
And then yesterday we spoke a little bit more. And I feel like we've reached some sort of understanding.
Yeah.
And so I don't really expect you to almost just jump in and then, we're on the
It
same
was
page.
actually like yesterday was our first.
Yeah, so yesterday felt like it was our first,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's not so far then.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Yesterday we were talking about knowledge.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Why has the man given so much importance to knowledge? Everything around us is based on knowledge.
True.
The education system is
True.
knowledge. The more knowledge you have, the more
Yeah. The more
important.
understanding into,
And the more important you feel in society.
True.
Yeah, the higher you go, the more money you get, and so on, right? So the question was, why have we given so much importance to knowledge to the point that we don't realize that it's limited? Doesn't matter how much knowledge you have. You can always add a bit of it.
True.
Like, doesn't matter how much I know.
True.
You told me you do music and also tattoo and stuff. Yeah. So I really have no idea about that whole
True.
world.
Legit. Yeah.
But suppose you give me that knowledge.
Because like for me, like it gets to a point where I actually feel like the more you do something, is the more you get better in time. Just like music. Even music, like as much as I'm good, every time when I work, there's something new that I discover, and I'll be like, whoa, okay. You understand?
So you can
Just
never
like,
say I have complete knowledge.
You understand?
You're always learning.
You always learn. Just like tattoos, the like every time when I do a tattoo, like it just gets better from the previous one, Like I just see differences. Or every time when I do a tattoo, I actually see a mistake that I did from the previous tattoo that I did. You understand? So
just like me and Bali's.
You understand?
I was the first to go, and mine was horrible, and hers was awesome.
I was saying, so knowledge, it seems like knowledge is always limited.
True.
You can always add more and more and more, right? But somehow we've given it so much importance. Without knowledge, you feel like, imagine a guy who, suppose you're in a classroom, right? We had this whole thing of grading. The first in class, the second in class. So I always imagine thank God I've never been the last in class, but I always imagine that must have been very cruel to such a guy, a kid. Imagine a kid, third grade, fourth grade, and then you call him fourth. I mean, you call him last. How does that impact on a kid, as he's growing up? I'm sure it removes a lot of confidence from him.
True.
Yeah, and I feel like people, the society in general, they don't understand that knowledge itself shouldn't be that important because it's limited.
Yeah.
And anything that is limited is conflicting.
True.
Because as long as you can add something on top of something, it means you are never satisfied, right? You are never reaching. So if you live your life based on knowledge, you are always, you're never happy. You're reaching, always reaching.
True.
So personally, within yourself, you can never truly be. You can never be satisfied, right?
Yeah. And the other thing, since we actually talk about knowledge, right? I actually feel like it's also like a mindset thing. You understand? Because, for an example, right? Last time I was helping like my younger sister with her schoolwork. You understand? Because when I was in school, I used to think like these things are hard because I was doing science. So I used to think like these things are hard until I'm done with school. Now I realize like it was just a matter of me understanding, like
paying
just
attention to
paying attention. You understand? Like allowing my mind to actually, like sink in the information. You know what I mean? Like when I was reading or whatever, Because now when I'm actually helping her, I'm realizing like, come on, like this is this thing like was hard and stuff. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like you're right, actually. It's only a matter of just allowing our minds to to just like absorb the information and stuff. You know what I mean? Like that's.
So what is important isn't knowledge; it's the act of learning itself.
True.
Right.
True.
That is important.
And allowing your mind actually.
Yeah, as long as you're learning.
Because sometimes you can learn, but you're not understanding. Like, do you get me? Like sometimes you can be reading something, right? But you're not understanding that thing.
It doesn't click.
It doesn't click. You get me? So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just a matter of you telling yourself too, like, you can do it. Understand? Because, yeah, like that's it. Because you know the thing. Like kids can be like, yo, I'm actually studying for an exam, acting like they're pretending like they're busy reading or stuff, only to find out it's just going through words. Like it's just going
basically
through words.
You're not interested. I mean, if someone is not interested, he's pretending because you're forcing him to read. If you don't read that thing,
you know what I mean?
But no, guys, I beg to
it.
differ. With me, it was like I couldn't pay full attention to studying, right? Simply because anytime I start reading, then the thoughts creep in. And then I'll start imagining things that will never happen in this life. And then after that, I'll close my books and then expect to get the best marks. Like,
because why are you thinking about other things than what you're reading? Because you're more interested in those things.
I was not paying attention to what I was doing.
Yeah, but you were paying attention to those other things, which means you're more interested in those.
Exactly.
So in the school system itself, they never taught you the art of learning, the joy of learning itself, because it's based on knowledge of, just accumulate, not the joy of actually learning.
Yeah.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
True.
So you don't have that love of it. It's
love
like
of it.
imagine a cook who really loves cooking. He doesn't cook because he wants to be the first cook in the world. He just loves cutting those tomatoes.
I'm telling
He's
you.
literally looking at the tomatoes, and whatever that is going to produce, they have to
Shouldn't
be
be like
tasty.
that, though. Everything should
You're
be
right,
like
though.
that.
Because I actually once asked my mom one day, I was like, yo, can you teach me how to cook? And then she was like, that's one thing I cannot teach you because it's just passion. You know what I mean? Like, it just comes in you. Because I asked her, like, what do you put, like, spices and whatever? It's like, yo, when I cook, I don't even tell myself, like, I just be adding. Because my mom can cook something that she doesn't eat and it tastes super good.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah. So that is one part of knowledge, which is technical knowledge, as we were saying yesterday. But also there's another sort of knowledge, which is basically, okay, first let's rewind a little bit.
Okay.
I think we're going to redo what we did yesterday. There's no avoiding it.
Yeah.
And ultimately it's going to lead us to what we were supposed to do.
Cool.
Yeah.
So knowledge isn't just knowledge of books, right? Knowledge of your how to cook, knowledge of your, not just technical things, how to use the mics and everything. There's also knowledge of your identity, right? You're South African. I mean, you literally know what South African is. You associate yourself to that.
True.
Yeah. What tribe are you?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm Swati.
Swati.
Yeah.
So you swat it. That is your knowledge as well.
True.
That thing is within yourself, right? There's knowledge of I am black, African.
African, yeah.
Because African is an idea, isn't it? We created that idea. We said, okay, people that look this way, that stay this place, we call them African.
African,
That is knowledge.
True.
You walk around with that knowledge.
True.
Right? There's knowledge of your God. If you're Christian, or are you Christian or an atheist? I don't know what you are.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to that, I want to lie, because I've never, like, put myself deep into that. Like, I don't know what I'm Christian or what. Like, I don't really, like,
But do you go to church? Like, what do you normally do?
I don't go to church. I actually pray from, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just pray.
Who do you pray to?
To God.
God, okay.
Yeah,
so
God.
There's knowledge of God.
Yeah, yeah.
That is knowledge, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know.
Because I actually pray to God, because you know, like, I don't want to go deep into it. But
you can if you want to.
Nah? Okay, cool.
No, I mean, we'll go through it.
Yeah.
But see, what we're trying to do here, right,
Yeah.
is communicate.
Sure.
But a communication that necessarily doesn't have to be just with words, right? As we're talking, there's another kind of communication that will happen, right?
True.
So please don't feel any sort of way.
Okay.
You're free. Forget about these cameras. Forget about how
all right,
you sound and everything.
For me, like, to be honest, okay, growing up, I would say Christian because my mom, you know what I mean. Growing up, obviously, my mom used to take me to church, which is Zion. But the more I grew up, the more I actually got to understand the whole thing of, you know, going to churches and stuff. For me, I just feel like people just go to church because of maybe because of their friends, you know what I mean? Just like my mom. My mom goes to church because she wants to impress her church colleagues, you know what I mean? Because if she's going to go like 2 weeks, spend 2 weeks not going to church, her colleagues are going to start calling her and stuff, you know what I mean?
The devil has come in the crib.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And deep down, she really doesn't want to go to church because now she's like, this other lady been talking bad about her or whatever, like, you know what I mean? But now she's forced to go to church because now maybe when there's going to be a funeral at home, they want to attend, you know what I mean? Or maybe something happens, you know, those type of things. So for me, I got to understand, like, okay, this whole church thing, because there's people who would say to go to church, but they don't really pray like that. You know, they just go to church because they just enjoy the
like
vibe.
the community. You know?
It's like a community thing, you understand? And that's why, because when I go to church, I actually feel like left out, you know what I mean? Because now, because I have a lot of tattoos, right? I have a lot of tattoos.
Yeah.
And people be looking at me with that eye of like, what is he doing here? You know what I mean? Like, what is he doing here? And I can feel it.
Be saved.
Yeah, and the thing is, I can feel it. You know what I mean? Like, the energy tells a lot. Like, even though someone doesn't tell you, but I can feel it. Like, now I feel like, wait, what am I doing here? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you feel judged.
Yeah. Because in my whole life, since like I became a grown up, when I actually chose to go to church, I think I went to church like, I would say like 4 to 5 times. You know what I mean? And every time I went to church, you know what I mean? I felt the same energy. Like, I tried different churches. I went to the Christian Embassy, Christ Embassy. I went there, you know what I mean?
You can relate, it seems.
You know what I mean? I went there, I've been there, you know, I went there, they told me like, come forward. If it's the first time, you know, in church, and then they did that born again thing, you know what I mean? And then after that, they start asking me like, so, what's up with these tattoos things and stuff, you know what I mean? And for me, like tattoos, it's my thing. Like, I really love tattoos, you understand? Because I had my first tattoo when I was like 14. You know what I mean? But I actually feel like if my pops was still alive, I wasn't going to be having tattoos at all. You know, because that man, hey, he was,
That's
you
true.
know, like
he
was
most
a teacher.
African parents.
You understand? He was a teacher, and he really wanted me to not follow, because he was a teacher and an artist too. You know, he was an artist, and he didn't want me to follow his path. You know, he always wanted me to be like probably a lawyer or a doctor. You know what I mean? So as soon as he passed on, I actually had an excuse to get my first tattoo, because I really love tattoos, you know what I mean? Because when I got my first tattoo, it was him, you know? I actually had like a skull on my chest, like the skull is like the half side, it's like rotten, the other side is like still alive, you know? It just represents him. And then I actually lied to my mom. I told my mom it's temporarily. I told her like after,
everybody says that.
you know, I told her like, Mom, after like 2-3 months it's gonna be off, you know? until then. Funny part, my second tattoo, my mom doesn't want to pay for it.
You
know. And then I started tattoos. You know what I mean? So when I go to church, I actually feel left out. And when I pray on my own, I actually feel the spirit, and I actually feel different. You know, I actually feel alive. Like, you know, even when I walk out, because everything I do is every morning when I wake up, before I actually do anything, I just pray, you know, just to have a brighter day and have, you know, that thing, like just everything just to be smooth, you know what I mean? And I just feel alive, like, you know what I mean? So
no, I get you.
Yeah.
So all this is knowledge. What you've been telling me, that is knowledge. You've saved all that in your memory, right?
Yeah.
How you put your tattoo, how it's one half rotten, one half alive.
Yeah.
This is knowledge in operation right now.
True.
Right, and it's manifesting itself through your thoughts, right? Which ultimately are coming out as words. So knowledge isn't just knowing how to plug in a phone.
Sure.
Knowledge is your past memories, right? And wherever there's knowledge, it's limited. Not only it's limited, but it's divisive, which means there's going to be a conflict. So when you say you go to church and then you feel left out, because those people have a certain kind of knowledge.
True.
Say, as a Christian, as a good Christian, you cannot have tattoos, right? Because you go to hell, you know, you do not represent us as properly as we should.
Right? As a community. Yeah.
So that knowledge is creating a division, which creating a conflict because you feel left out.
True.
And you're like, the hell, then I'm going to go and do my thing.
Yeah, legit.
So as long as there's knowledge, there's limitation and there's conflict, right?
Yeah. And the bottom line of church is to not to judge. That's why I actually don't understand that whole concept of like, you know what I mean? Because when you go to church, that's where you actually want to feel, you know, like you want to feel that comfort, you know? You just want to walk in and everybody start hugging you or whatever, you know, those type of things, you know? So that's why I'm like, okay, what's going on now? You know what I mean? Like, what's up? You know, I might as well start my own church. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you starting your own church is creating some other conflict because you're creating another group which will fight that other group.
Which is what's going on right now, you know?
So that's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
With knowledge, you have limitation, division, and then with that, you have separation, which creates conflict.
True.
Right?
True.
Our white folks here, they might just feel like, you know, we're different. So these black people, maybe they feel superior or inferior. Doesn't matter whether you feel inferior or superior.
Yeah.
To me, it's the same thing.
True.
You're creating some sort of havoc.
Yeah.
Right? So why as we were talking yesterday, why have we given so much importance to something like that, which is creating conflict? We're all screaming out of our lungs that conflict must end.
True.
We're creating United Nations.
True. Yeah. We're
taking bread and giving to the orphans. Yet, our very being, our deep inside, it's like divided. It's wrong, completely rotten.
True.
Because, I mean, you can't go out there one division, but you come with a division already. No matter what you do, you just introduce more division, right? So it's a war of ideas. So as we're talking here, I don't want to have that war. Let's not have a war of opinions.
True.
I know better, you know, I know less or you know more. No. We're learning. What's important is not our knowledge, our previous knowledge, but let's be in a state of learning. And we're going to have a communication that perhaps can remove the entire division, right?
Yeah.
So I was just giving you an idea of what we were talking about yesterday.
Yeah.
The limitation of knowledge and the conflict within knowledge itself, right? Before I jump into attention, I want to ask you, and perhaps we can just be as honest as we can, right?
Yeah.
Who are you, bro?
Who am I?
Yeah.
Okay, like, I don't get it, like, to be honest.
Yeah, no, suppose we meet. We just met right now. If I ask you, who are you?
Oh, okay. So I'm Lesego, right? I'm Lesego Mhlongo. I was born here in Johannesburg. I was born at Alexander, right? And then growing up, I was just a naughty boy, you understand? I was a naughty boy, started smoking at a young age, started drinking back in high school. And then my mom, because I was living in a family where it's just youth, you know, because our parents, they were there working, you know, because the house where I grew up in, our parents, like as like my cousins, my siblings, you know, they don't want to stay in that house because they were fighting for it, you know what I mean? Because it was like a family house, you know? So none of them wanted to stay there. So they just chose, like, you know what, let our kids stay there. So growing up, there was like no actually an elder person who can tell another one, because we all siblings, cousins and stuff, you know? And we can tell each other like, hey, do this. Because I'm going to feel like, who are you to tell me, like, you know, not to smoke or not to come this time at home, you know, understand? So growing up, it was a type of thing until I got to a certain age where my mom felt like, you know what, now the boy is getting too out of control. Because my sister's always like, yo, please, like, this boy now, you know, he's smoking hardly now, you know. And the time I was doing like grade, I think 6 or 7, you know, primary, you know. So my mom took me, as soon as my pops passed on, and then my mom took me to the city in Johannesburg, which is where I'm staying now, right? So I started staying in the city from the age of, I think, 12 or 10 years old, you know. So my life actually is like into two, right? There's people who know me as Untlantla. People who know me as Untlantla is people who know me from a kid, from as I was like, you know, born, you know. And then there's people who know me as Lesego, you know, which is Lesego is like the name that's on my ID, which I had to use it at a certain age where, because now everywhere I go now, I need to use my identity as soon as you grow up, you know. As soon as you reach a certain age, you know, everywhere you go, you need to use like your real identity. So Untlantla, it was a name which I was given from my mother's side, you know. So that's why I'm like, people who know me as Untlantla is like people who know me from a kid, you know. So that's why I feel like my life is into two, right? There's a life of me being like that kid who didn't have direction, you know, which was Untlantla, you know. And then now as Lesego, there's a kid, people who know me as a tattoo artist and a music producer, you understand? So that's what I'm saying, like, me moving to the city, it actually changed me a lot. Like, I actually learned a lot of stuff, you know, no problem. So coming to the city, it actually, like, it really changed my life. I really appreciate my mom for that, you know, because if I was still in the hood, you know, if I was still, you know.
A lot could have gone wrong.
A lot, you know, I could have been like maybe stealing cars or whatever, because I was going into that path at some point, right? At some point I was going to that path because of obviously, you know, in the hood how it is, you know, what you do coming back from school, first thing you want to do, you just want to go to the friends, you know, and the only thing you want to do is, you guys are not talking about any growth, you know, you're just talking about what's happening around here, being inspired by maybe a neighbor who steals cars, or a neighbor who do house robberies, you know, because you know Alexander. Have you been to Alexander?
Yeah, I know Alex.
Yeah. So imagine, that's where I was born and raised, you know. So growing up, it was the type of thing of like just being inspired by bad things, you know, not even thinking of, I never even thought of becoming a music producer or becoming an artist as such, you know what I mean? The only thing I was thinking, it was just like, you know, waking up, going, you know, steal a car or whatever. Because I remember I once did that actually, you know. I remember grade 9. I found myself like, you know, like jumping. If my family didn't know that, you know, it's like, I'm just
I
saying
hope they don't watch this.
It's cool because now they know me better, you know, they know me different, you know. Now I'm no longer, that's like what happened, you know what I mean? But it's just my friends and you know, and my sister knows about that, right? So we actually jumped at school, you know what I mean? Like before, I think it was before lunchtime. We were still wearing our uniforms. And then because Alex, there's like a lot of suburbs around, you know. So we went to Edenvale. Edenvale was like a walking distance from Alex. And then we got there, and us, we're actually going to the mall, you know, just to, you know, the mall, just to steal some stuff in the malls. And then funny part is, we just saw a car parking outside because one of my friends knew how to drive that time, right? And then one of my friends had like an alarm key. He already planned it. You know, us, we never thought about it like that. He knew what he was doing because he came up with that mindset. Like, yo, guys, let's just go to the mall, you know, just, you know, have some fun and whatever. And to find out he had it planned that he wanted to steal a car, right? So when we get there, we saw a car parked outside, and then he already knew how to open it. Imagine, he opened it and then he pushed it. We pushed the car. But now the problem is we didn't have enough knowledge about that. We just stole it. Only to find out when we came back to the hood with the car, it was a waste because now we just got like, I think like 1,000. We just got 1,000 out of it because we were kids. We didn't know anything. We didn't know who to sell it to, what to do with it.
And to a kid, 1,000 is a lot, I guess.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It was a lot at the time, but only to find out, imagine if we got caught. You know what I mean? Like, if we got caught, that was going to be just, you know, like, you get my point, though. Just for 1,000. Because in our heads, we're thinking like 20,000, you know? For a car, you know, you just stole a car. You're thinking like, you're going to have like a young 20,000, a young 10,000, you know, we're good. We're going to split it. Only to find out like a stolen car is worth nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right, bro. So, see, I asked you a question, right? Who are you? So basically, you are memories.
Yeah.
Because that's what you've been. That's what you've given me. Your memories. Which is knowledge.
A memory.
That
you are a memory.
Your memories.
Because I asked you, who are you?
Yeah.
And you told me your
Yeah,
whole
so that's what I'm saying. Because for me to get to the person I am now, right, I just want to break it down.
Yeah, no, who are you?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We're finding out, right? I asked you, who are you?
Yeah.
And the reflex automatically.
Yeah.
You had to go back, right?
I had to go back so that it's going to make sense now, like the person who
So basically,
I became.
okay, let's say you are memory. You've just given me your whole history. So you are memory, which is knowledge. Knowledge, right?
Yeah.
What else are you?
What else I am?
Yeah.
So,
are you anything else? What are you?
Okay, right now.
Let's leave the body. I can see the body here.
Yeah.
That's fairly easy. But I'm saying,
Yeah.
what else are you? There's memory. You are memory. We are knowledge. What else are you?
Well, I am the future.
The future?
Yeah, I am the future because right now, everything I do, by all means, is to make sure I just learn new stuff. That's what I'm on right now. So every day, I'll be just on the internet, like trying to find out some new stuff.
See, you're telling me about the internet. You're telling me what you do on a day-to-day basis. Still memory. Right? Still knowledge. When you say you are the future, what is the future? Can you talk about the future without knowing what the future is?
Yeah.
I don't know if it makes sense.
Yeah, I get you.
The word, the definition of future itself.
I get you.
It's your knowledge, isn't it?
Yeah.
So all you are is knowledge.
Yeah.
You are the past, right? Some other people say they are the spirit. Isn't that knowledge as well?
But when it comes to the spirit, I feel like it's something else.
Yeah, like what? Tell me, what is it? What is it?
Because when you're saying like I'm the spirit, okay, because that automatic, when they give birth to you already, it's a spirit, right? So, because the spirit, it's forever, like it's infinity.
Well, no. I mean, which means you thought about that. You can't talk about the spirit if you haven't thought about it.
Yeah, true.
Can you think of something that you don't know of?
Nah, you can't.
Yeah.
For
instance, right now, if you think of a bike with wings, literally you gotta know what a bike is and what wings are.
Wings are,
Which is knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Which is the past.
Yeah. True.
So you're a bundle of memories. That's all you are, psychologically speaking. That's what makes you.
That's what makes you as a person.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
But somehow you feel like I am separate from my memories, right? There's a me who have gone through all these memories.
Yeah.
Without realizing that in fact all you are is memory. Nothing more, nothing less.
That's how it is. Because even like a computer on its own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a computer can't operate without a memory.
Yeah.
Like
it needs some information.
It needs some information.
Given information.
Yeah.
And then it can play around with all those information and come up with apparently new information. Which still the basis from all
that information. Yeah.
So, but can you see it first? Can you accept that all you are is memory? So let's say Katlego is a memory. It's your identity is literally a memory.
True. Because for you to be better, you need to move, you know, like you need to know yourself, you know, and
To
for
be
you
better.
to know yourself is for you to accept the past that you lived and to move forward from it.
Yeah, no, I'm actually, that's what I'm fighting here. When you
Yeah.
say forward,
Yeah.
you know, tomorrow is the past. There's no such thing as tomorrow. I'm trying to show you that all you are is the past.
It's the past.
The memory.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, and how does memory come about? How does, because right now you're telling me about all this, all your knowledge, it's coming through your thoughts, right? So you are thought, that is thought.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But then thought says, I am different from myself. There's a me, right? And then there are memories. It doesn't realize that in fact thought itself is memory.
It's a memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can never think of something new.
True.
It has to be always coming from the past.
From the past, yeah.
That's what I want to establish. That is the most important thing to see. If you can see that, then whatever that you need to see will come naturally as you go on. Whether you're with me or with anyone else, whatever. But you gotta see it very, very clearly.
True.
So I don't mind spending the whole day
yeah.
talking about that.
Yeah.
I've done that with Tutu, but I hope you're doing it as we're talking as well, right? Please, there's no authority in this thing. There's no one who knows more or less.
True.
I'm literally open to you gotta say this is right or this is wrong, right?
Yeah. Nah, I hear you.
So,
I hear you.
So when I say I am, right? Or for instance, I am thinking. I am under the illusion that there's a me separate from thought. Almost as if there's a thinker that is doing the thinking. Right? That is the identity of I.
Yeah.
Me is, there's a separate me within myself that is actually doing the thinking.
True.
Without realizing that that is just thinking. Still thought. It's a process. There's no division within that process. But somehow we are always, it's dividing itself all the time. Of a thinker and the thought. I am the one who is thinking. I is a thought. There's no such thing as I. I is a thought.
It's a thought, yeah.
So why are we involved in that illusion? Why does thought always want to cut itself into tiny pieces so it can look at itself?
True.
Why?
Okay, okay, say it again.
All right.
Say it again.
Yeah, we can. And as we're doing this, we can literally take a break and
no
look
problem.
at it. Yeah.
Let's get it, yeah.
So, this is the design of thought, right? It plays this thing of it is different from itself, right? So, when you're looking at your memories, when you're calling back your memories, remember when you're saying we went and we stole? So it's almost as if there's a thinker who's remembering those things.
Those things, yeah.
So you can't realize that in fact it is just thought itself. There's no thinker separate from thought. It's a process of thinking. It's just a movement happening. And the thinker is the controller, right? The thinker is the one saying, oh, I can think of this and then think of that. Yeah? Almost as if it's directing. But is there a controller at all? Suppose say right now, stop your thought. Because that's controlling, right? If I say stop your thought, go ahead and stop your thought.
Nah, there's no way.
Yeah. there's no way you can stop it, right?
Nah, there's no way.
Yeah. So it's almost as if
you're just gonna be unconscious.
How? What do you mean you're gonna be unconscious?
Like you're just gonna be unconscious. Like if you're gonna be like.
No, it's right. I'd like to see you unconscious. I don't think that's gonna. Be,
I don't
think that's gonna be. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
See, for instance, when you feel afraid, right?
Yeah.
You have this illusion that I can do something about myself.
Yeah.
Right? I can stop my fear.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But
it gets worse.
It gets worse because you're trying to stop it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You under the illusion that I am different from fear itself.
Yeah.
You don't realize that I am fear.
Yeah.
I is fear.
That's like when it's cold, you know. When it's cold and you actually, because I always see it every time when I do clients' tattoos, right? I always try to tell them to be calm as possible, right? But now, the more I tell them that,
the more
it's
anxious
the more
they become.
it's the more they get worse. So that's why every time I just tell my clients tattoos are painful from the get-go, right? So that you just be ready in your mind, and by the time I do your tat, you actually realize like it's not really that painful.
Yeah.
And then now you're gonna be able to be calm.
Yeah.
But if I'm gonna be like, tattoos are not painful, don't worry. You know what I mean? But in your mind, you've heard from people saying like, yo, tattoos are really painful.
Yeah.
And obviously, by the time I start doing you, it just becomes worse in your mind. You know what I mean? So that's why I try to tell my clients like from the get-go, like, yo, tattoos are painful, so that when I do them, they actually realize like this is not really that painful. You know, it's just that normal pain, that bearable pain that you can take.
So basically, there's nothing you can do about yourself. But literally, we are fighting that every day. We're trying to control, right?
Yeah.
As I was saying, as I was coming here, I thought of, oh no, you know, the cock just spilled on my clothes, you know. You start to control, and then you guys are not here yet, you know. There's that sense of frustration of these people are not on time and so on. So there's this sense of I need to control, right? Almost as if there's a controller, there's a guy who can control, right? The entity within myself.
Yeah.
Then if you're attentive enough, you actually realize that no, there's no controller. Me trying to control is creating more chaos.
Yeah.
Me trying not to control is still the same movement.
Yeah.
Right? There's no entity who's gonna be the controller in this case. So why do we always try to control if that is the case? Why is thought playing this game of separating itself, acting as if, even right now, if you look at it, right, now you become the observer, looking at your own thought. But you don't realize that the observer himself is thought. When you are looking within yourself, right, the whole movement. Observing itself is an act of thought.
Sure.
You are looking at it, right? So why do we feel the need to control? Why can't we see through that illusion?
Yeah, no. But yeah, that's actually
see what's happening. I tell you something.
Yeah.
Automatically,
you need to think about it to process it.
It's going on.
Yeah.
Right. You can't stand still, which means thought cannot stop.
Yeah.
It doesn't want to
stop.
stop.
You know what I mean? Because now the mind is just like things that just keep on coming, and now you're trying to find the right one.
Yeah.
To say at the same time. Yeah.
Which means what? Analysis. What we're doing here is analysis, isn't it? We've divided ourselves into the analyzer and the analyzed.
And the analyzer.
Almost as if it's separate.
Yeah.
But the analyzer is the analyzed, right? But why is that division? Because if there's no division, if that division ceases, there's no thought. Thought has stopped.
Yeah.
Why is thought afraid to come to an end?
Nah, there's no way. Because I feel like if there's no thoughts, like we won't be even, because I feel like even dreams, they actually come from actually like reality, what you go through.
Yeah, dream is thought. Still thoughts going on, which means when you go to sleep,
they still follow
keeps
you.
going.
It keeps going, you know. It's something happened.
Yeah.
Like what happened, like the funny thing, it's actually crazy. Yeah. Like what, like this morning, right? Because yesterday I drank lean, ne? Because I wasn't feeling good, so I drank lean so that I can sleep and rest enough, right? So in the morning,
excuses for your lean.
You see, so in the morning, right? In the morning, it was that deja vu thing. It's that dream that's like you are actually awake, but you're actually dreaming. You know the dream, like I actually felt myself talking, and I had to wake up.
Lucid dreaming.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, because like I even have to wake up because I was telling my friend like there's a pint in the drawer, you know, like, and I was actually in the shop, right? And I tell my friend like, there's a pint in the drawer. You can just open and mix it up, you know, with sip.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I actually heard myself saying that, and I had to wake up like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah.
I look around, I'm like, damn, what just happened? You know, and I just went back to sleep. And when I went back to sleep, I'm actually thinking about this thing. And I'm actually sleeping, but I'm actually thinking about it, like, what just happened? How did I actually dream about this? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying, like, this whole thing, because even reality itself, it's just sometimes it can be like a deja vu thing, you know?
Yeah. Maybe we'll find out what reality is if we see what's going on right now, right? So you realize that, in fact, you drinking lean, right? You want to drink lean because it makes you calm, right?
Calm, yeah.
It calms you down, makes you slow.
Yeah.
That whole movement of thinking kind of like slow.
Yeah, you just,
right?
you know, yeah.
Then it happens that you go to sleep as well. First, when you go to sleep, also it calms you, everything kind of slows down.
Yeah. And with lean, you shut down. You don't even think anything.
And then within that process, in that moment of everything calm, something happens, and then you say, you call it deja vu, because when you wake up, then the thing that you saw there, you see it now in real life. Then you're like, oh, how did that happen?
Yeah.
So now I'm saying, what happened there?
Like in the dream.
Yeah. Okay. We talk about dream later. I think that's dreams are very interesting. But first of all, that's what's happening. You realize that during the day-to-day activities, that's what's happening. Your thoughts are rushing.
True.
They don't want to stop.
True.
That's the controller, right?
Yeah.
Whether you're thinking about your tattoos, your gods, or your wife, still thinking.
Yeah, like it's still processing.
Yeah, processing. And also, it's not my thoughts and your thoughts. Thinking is happening. As much as thinking is happening in her head, thinking is happening in your head too. She might be thinking about, I don't know, this, right?
Yeah.
And you're thinking about your studio. The thinking itself is going on.
True.
So it's a process that is happening. It's not, yet it calls itself Katleko thought. And then in Tutu's head, it's saying it's me, Tutu. It first to realize that thinking is happening everywhere.
True.
It's not personal, right?
Yeah.
So it's always moving around, which basically is what, and we said thinking is the past, right? Knowledge.
True.
You cannot possibly think of something that you don't know of.
Sure.
You can project, you can imagine, right? Something that you maybe have never seen. But it always comes from the past.
You always get better.
Yeah.
From
For you to think of me, to imagine me flying.
You need to know something.
Yeah. For you to imagine me flying, you must definitely know what is the concept of flying.
Of flying, yeah.
In fact, for you to even understand what I'm talking about here, English, it's the past, it's your memories, it's what you've learned, right?
True.
So thinking, that's the operation of thinking, the past. So the past itself does not want to stop. It cannot accept that I'm gone, it's finished, it's dead.
It
doesn't want to accept that.
It doesn't at all.
When it's crazy though.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, like the first time we spoke on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
And then I already designed an image of you, right? So by the time we met, because of the things that we talked about, I was actually expecting a grown man.
Yeah.
Some old man, actually.
But I am a grown man.
Somebody around 40,
legit.
you know?
Yeah. True.
Also, maybe like, you know,
yeah.
muscular
big
type.
stomach and
Yes, yes.
drinking black label.
And then, when I saw you, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You know?
Same here.
And I'm like, what the hell? And then we started having conversations. So it's always crazy, like, what the mind can do. You know?
So it projects.
Yes.
Ideas. According to your past knowledge, you associate a certain kind of thinking, talking to an image. You know, maybe a guy who's older and you know, and so on. So now you project. It's an illusion. It's not real.
Yeah.
So
like
thought
even
is
me when I
illusory
walked out.
itself.
Even me when I saw you right now, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, whoa, okay. What's up? Yeah.
So you see, your thought creates authority.
Yeah.
You are your own authority.
Yeah.
You create your own illusion.
True.
As long as you are thinking, you can never see what is actually going on. You are blocking whatever that is going on. Right?
Yeah.
Why are you blocking what is going on? What are you so afraid of?
Yeah, that's true.
So the past is afraid of disappearing. It's always clashing with the future, the present.
The present, yeah.
Actually, it projects also the future without realizing that the future is still the past. You cannot project something that you do not know of, right? So the past, which is the future, is always clashing with this moment here, this present. It comes and then it meets the present, and since the present is unknowable, it's so so huge, it cannot possibly grab it. Right? So it runs away again from the person. So basically, the best way to look at it is the only real thing that is there is the now moment.
True.
Right? True. But then we record the now. We record it, and then we call what we record, which is our thoughts. Now we pretend that to be the now.
Exactly. Isn't it crazy though? Like, if you're asked to talk about your day, you're going to speak as if it's something that just happened now, and it's something that's long gone.
It's gone. It's your memory. It's an image.
It's
I mean, it's like an hologram. You see these holograms? It's a projection of the real thing. I mean, this is not a lady. This is a projection. And this is thought. Thoughts materialize because there's no way you can make this without thinking. You have you look at the material, you come out, you see, you must have seen a lady. You must have known that she's got...
Like you have imagined it.
Yeah.
True.
This comes from the past. So this is the past that doesn't want to go away. It has found a way to stay there, right?
True.
So why is the past so afraid of... Why is the mind so afraid of
leaving the past?
Yeah, of leaving or basically the now. Why is it so attached to the past, to its knowledge? Why have we given so much importance to the past?
To the past.
To the past itself.
For me, I actually feel like it's not even like the mind being afraid of leaving the past. For me, I feel like every time you actually get to, it's like knowing yourself, you understand? Because you, like, having the thought of the past, right? Hence, they say for you to get better, you need to know where you come from. You understand? And
but when you say better, what do you mean by better?
By better. Yeah. So if you're gonna know where you come from, you're gonna be afraid to go back somehow. You
to
understand?
Go back from where
to go back. For example, let's say if you grew up let's say if you grew up staying in the streets, right? And then you know your past, you grew up staying in the streets. And then if you're going to forget that past, anytime you can go back to it.
So you're telling me knowledge is sticking to the now. I mean, knowledge is overwhelming because, okay, then you're afraid. If you don't want to go back to the past, then you're afraid of the past, right?
That's why you got to make sure, like, every day, whatever you do, you just to make sure. Because whatever you do, you cannot forget, like the.
So you agree that it's
so
a
it
trap.
is fear.
It's fear, like legit. It's fear.
So basically, we record, we accumulate with more knowledge. We know that you recognize a snake.
Because just for an example, right? Because I actually feel like for like criminals, right? Criminals, the reason why they keep on going back to jail is because they don't wanna, like they quickly forget their past. Like, hence why I'm saying, like, they quickly forget it. They always want to find a new way to do crime, like to do different crime. You understand? Because criminals, if they really, like, not forgetting their past, you understand? Because you can't tell me, like, you enjoy going back to prison, like, back to back.
You know, some people enjoy that, though. Yeah, because you already know you're doing something
wrong. When you get used to it.
And you know the outcome of what you're doing. You know, so some people are so programmed to certain things they do, like you right now, right? You're a tattoo artist.
Yeah.
If you become so good at it, right? If there's even such a thing as your next life, or you would obviously want to carry on with what you were doing. And some people are so good at being criminals. You understand? There's nothing else they can ever think of. If they come out, the next move has to be about that. So I don't think, like, necessarily. Personally, I think the only reason why we keep going back to the past, right, is for us not to feel, you know, when you're thinking about now, like, now the only thing that's happening is what we're doing, right? Yeah, and for you to feel alive and much more available here and to show that you know what you're talking about, you're obviously going to go back, right? And then when you go back, you're going to feel there's something to talk about, there's something to add to what we're talking about. But if you understand that we are here now, and now we're doing now, the thoughts are just going to keep coming in because they can see you ignoring them. Like, they feel blocked.
Who's the ignorer?
It's the thoughts still, right? So the thoughts will keep going until the only way you can block thoughts is just by simply...
Who's the blocker?
Huh?
There's no blocking thought.
Yes, there's no blocking, but I don't know. I don't have the right word for it. But for you, maybe to detach from it, rather, for you to detach from it, is for you to absolutely, it's impossible to say not think, but just to be aware that now we're here. Yeah.
No, I get your point, right? But coming back to what we were saying, first of all, see, when you say a criminal comes out of jail and he has forgotten his past, and then he does something that puts him back in the same situation. But actually, the reason he's doing another crime is because he's attached to his past. Why are you going to rob? Because you're attached to having a car, to that knowledge of a car, that knowledge of money. The knowledge is pushing you. You are conditioned to go in that direction. In fact, you've gotten used to that.
Yeah.
It's fine now. Going to jail is not a big deal. I mean, you know that.
Yeah,
because I'm going to go there, I'm going to survive. That's all.
Yeah.
So knowledge conditions us to do the same thing over and over. Knowledge is supposed to repeat itself.
But you're actually right, because if you forget about the past, how are you going to move on? Because let's say if I forget how to do tattoos, or I actually forget about the past, do you think I'll be able to like do another person a tattoo, or to make beats, or let's say your work, let's say right now, like I'm a cameraman, right? If I actually forget the past, how am I going to operate the camera?
No, as we were saying yesterday, there's useful knowledge, technical knowledge. Literally, I mean, we don't want to live in shacks anymore in the forest. This knowledge is important to make this, right? To structure this immense life, we have to use our thoughts.
That is useful knowledge.
But that is useful knowledge. And then there's useful of, there's knowledge of the self. I'm talking about the knowledge of the self. Thought, I'm talking about thoughts now.
The thoughts,
which is illusory. It is acting as if it can know itself. As if there's a separate me who can know me. You don't realize that the me is thought itself. There's no division. And we introduce that division because we are divided, psychologically we are divided. Then obviously whatever that we do out here is going to be divisive.
True.
Tribes, countries, ranks. I mean, you're talking about Alex. Literally, can you imagine Alex is right here, Santon is right there.
Imagine. And that's
it's just
people
one
starving
it's
right
just
there.
one thing. Yeah, true.
People starving on this area.
Imagine.
Others are literally throwing food right here. The neighbors. Then what do you want them to do? The ones in Alex.
Yeah.
Must be crazy. You think I'm just gonna sit
and wait for you
and
to
wait
give
for
me
you,
crumbs?
No.
Yeah.
So that's pure stupidity, living that kind of life.
True.
It's the most unintelligent way of living.
True.
And it's happening that way because you're using your knowledge. It's thought.
It's thought.
It's very limited. Whatever that it does is very limited. It's stupid.
That's why I was like, I was actually grateful as soon as my mom like took me to the city, because the city is
But guys,
the city is too much.
Oh wait, what about Besta?
It's horrible.
Yes,
Yeah.
you know, like I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to say this. I love him so much, even though he's a criminal. Well, the only
What
part
do you
I'd
love
remove.
about him? What do you love about him?
I love that. Out of every bad thing, right?
Yeah.
He was able to master it. It was so clean. You understand? Like the way he was able to operate money in jail. You understand? Like he just gives me that thing. Like you don't have an excuse. You don't have an excuse to stay broke. He was able to do all those things in jail. Companies in the U.S. everywhere in jail, and I'm out here, broke as hell.
And he was like but
broke
right,
as
though.
hell,
You're
right? I'm out here with the same thing that he has, obviously, the mind, right? So he was able to think for himself.
But you also think for yourself.
In a good way. Look,
In a
what he
good
did
way.
is bad. But it turned out to be good, even though he got caught and all that. But what I'm trying to say is, like, it's crazy when you're talking about those people in Alex, the ones that think, oh, you guys must be mad, I'm going to come do house robberies and all that, right? But he also did the same thing. It's just that his was slick. It was so clean.
But that's how he started, though. You know, right?
Yeah.
Like he was going through Facebook and then dating this women, you know, becoming the guy. And then that's why I'm like, sometimes you get better in time with something you do, right?
Yeah.
You have to start somewhere for you to get somewhere.
So you see, he already knew jail. He's been in jail. He used to still write.
Yeah.
But then when he got out, like, he found a perfect opportunity. He was like, even if I go back, I want to be boss when I get there. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy what thought can actually do to one.
Yeah,
True.
see what's crazy about thought is you bringing up Besta right now.
Yeah,
That's a pure reflection of thought.
right.
Yeah, what we're talking about. Somehow you just felt like, you know, it can't stay still. It has to bring back Besta and his
Because you
story.
guys talked about Alex and all these criminals. I'm like, what a waste.
So see, thoughts always identify itself. It's a connection thing, right?
Yeah.
Literally, even in the mind, I'm not a scientist, but it seems that it's neurons, literally cells connecting to each other, right? One cell has a bit of memory, another cell has a bit of memory, and then it's connecting all the time.
Yeah.
So thought divided in its nature, yet always trying to unite itself, right?
Yeah.
So as divided in our very nature, yet we are always trying to to unite ourselves. So we've divided the family, right? There's a family, and then there's a clan, and then we say, no, we have to be bigger. Then there's a tribe. Then you say, yeah, no, we have to be much bigger than that. Then there's a country, right? And we say, no, this is not enough.
Yeah.
There's a
continent. Yeah.
So without realizing that every layer that we add is actually creating another division somewhere, right? So a family versus another family, even within a family.
Yeah, there's still like
of course.
Your parents prefer this child over this other one.
Yeah.
Legit. Yeah.
So that is the reality. I'm not saying it should be otherwise.
It should be, yeah.
Let's see
But
facts
that's
for
how
what
it
they
is.
are. Yeah, let's see facts for what they are. Let's not hope to have some utopia, some amazing life here.
True.
The fact is, in our very nature, we are divided.
What tribe are you?
I'm called Mnyamulenge. I'm from Congo.
Oh, Congo, yeah.
But I don't associate myself with that. I don't even associate myself as an African.
Because I have a friend from Congo, but I think now he moved back that side.
Definitely going to Lubumbashi when I go there.
You what?
I want to go to Lubumbashi.
Lubumbashi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard beautiful stories.
Yeah.
I actually want to go to Tanzania.
Congo is a beautiful country.
It is.
It's unfortunate it has a lot of trouble. Perhaps that's why I'm talking about this. Because all this.
But you look Ethiopian. You look like Ethiopian.
Somalian.
Yeah.
I know. I get the same thing from home.
Yeah.
See, even back home, most people don't consider me as Congolese because I look different.
Yeah.
Just the whole thing looks a little bit different.
Yeah.
So coming here to South Africa actually felt more at
bad.
home than back there.
Yeah.
But you see, I guess that's why I started looking at this whole division from a very, very young age, right? The whole thing seems so stupid, right? That we've taken this whole thing, this immense thing, beautiful thing really, and we've imagined limits, imaginary limits, right? It's almost as if we say there's some, I don't know, it's like, I'm trying to think of some stupid imagination.
Yeah.
That's as stupid as creating countries. And yet we cry all day night and say we must stop the division.
Okay.
So if you look at everything in society is divided. When you go to churches, there's the Baptist, there's the Christian, there's the Muslim, and then there's the so-called atheist. They don't believe in anything at all. But yet they form their own little group and say, we are atheists. So it doesn't matter where you go, you're not escaping that division.
True.
And the reason being,
it's
within yourself, it is that, right? So my question is always, first, why is it that way? So at some point to find that division, you have to inquire. And where do you start? You start from, I don't know why we're divided. I've heard stories. I've heard that maybe it's our ancestors that were fighting other ancestors and so on. But the fact of the matter is, I don't know why it is this way. It seems that this world is based on survival.
It's just a thought from the society.
Yeah, so you have to group, even in the animal kingdom, they group themselves.
True.
There's no escaping that.
That's how I'm like, it's like adopting from the society.
Whoever started that nonsense. That's crazy.
I think the people that started as humans, as far as humans are concerned, they were as much victims of that as much as we are.
Yeah.
And now
they
it's
didn't
worse.
even understand why they started it.
Right.
Yeah.
And now it's worse because it's even within the color. Like it's just there within the color.
Yeah.
You know, because now you see us, you see people like being against Nigerians, but you know what I mean? Like, want to find out we're the same skin, or you know what I mean? Like,
no, but just go to Nigeria. Nigeria itself inside, it's completely divided.
My gosh, over 100 tribes.
Yeah.
Like, how is it
completely
even
divided.
possible?
So that is that is the reality.
Mm.
It seems like the whole world itself is possible only through division, right? Forget even about Earth. Planets, they're divided. It seems like you need a division for there to be a relationship, right? Yet that division is conflicting. As long as the division, we're going to fight, right? So if you start to inquire about this thing, what do you start? You don't start there in Venice or Mars. You start close, what you know, and what you know is you, right? You can start looking at yourself, it's okay, I can find out about myself. If I know enough about myself, then perhaps I'll know about the other person. You know, I can't just start pretending that I know Tutu. I don't know what she goes through her what's been going on through her life and so on. I have to imagine. But as far as I'm concerned, I know all the bad deeds, all the secrets, all the hopes, all the imagination. That is me, right?
True.
So then let's start there, right? Which is why I asked you the question, who are you?
Yeah.
You know? And you realize that all I am is a bundle of memories, right?
True.
There's the body.
That's what just comes there. Yeah.
You know, I'm laughing. Well, anyway, when we started talking, right?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about the question that he asked you. Like, who are you?
Yeah.
I was so pissed that night because I was even high. I remember I just had like 2 blunts, right? And then he asked me that question. And then he was like, who are you? And then I went on, I'm Tutu, blah, 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 blah. Then it's like, okay, that's you identifying yourself as how people see you or know you. But I'm just asking, like, who are you?
Yeah.
I went in and was like, oh. He's like, no, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to let you get it. It's like, this guy's wasting my time. And then I text my friend. I'm like, who are you? And then he said this to me. I'm like, no, besides that, we know that. But who are you?
Who are you? Yeah.
Then he came up with this thing. He's like, oh, I'm a human being. And yeah, that's all I can say. And then like, I just knew that I can't find the answer, right?
Yeah.
And then I was so stuck and angry and I had to give up. And then I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to answer your question because I don't know. Then it was like, funnily, that's all I wanted from you, that you don't know.
That's it.
You know, so I'm just laughing as I'm sitting next to you. I'm like, man, this question.
Yeah, because first thing that comes, like anyone you're gonna ask, like if
they tell you the name,
people,
they tell you the name,
like, who are you,
the identity.
But now what's crazy is that you can never say you know yourself.
Like that's it.
No, there's no.
Nobody knows themselves.
Because first thing that comes, you just be thinking about what's been happening.
Yeah.
Dude, if thought can change in like literally a second.
Yeah.
You think in 20 seconds, you think of a million things, but you choose to stick to one. Then how do you think you know yourself?
How? Yeah.
So basically, see, thought is very subtle. It's running away from itself. You have to be very, very careful to look at it. It's no, what we're doing here, what we're talking about is much more serious than you can imagine.
True.
You know, it is, I don't have to tell you how serious it is. You have first to do it yourself, you see.
True.
So you start looking at yourself, right? You realize that there's this urge within myself to always think. The very interaction with someone or with a thing triggers a memory, right?
True.
There's no controlling that. I have the illusion that I'm the one remembering, almost as if I am separate from memory.
True.
You haven't looked at it enough to see that, in fact, I am memory.
Yeah.
And the person realizing that is memory still is another memory, which means the observer, when you're analyzing, see, when you're looking within yourself, the observer himself is a projection. It's the observed, right?
Yeah.
So you're stuck there. That's what I am. If you're not used to it, of course, you feel stuck. It's a little bit shaky.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you've been living your whole life thinking you're in control.
True.
Guiding myself. But then you realize there's something much more deeper that is way beyond myself. That is helping me navigate in a way. So that's you losing yourself.
And that's how it is, because you can lose yourself in a sec. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't take you the whole, like, year or whatever.
No, you don't. This thing doesn't need you to look at it for a year. It's, in fact, it's the very denial of time. Because remember, time itself, what is time? We know it was morning earlier on. Now it's afternoon, maybe. Then it will be night. Still, that whole idea of morning, night, later, that whole continuation is thinking, right? That is time. So without thinking, there's no time.
Because you're right, though. You're right. Because I actually have a friend, he's Nigerian, Charlie. Like, my homie, like, you see us, like more like South Africans, we have that mind of like 9 to 5, you know? We need to be working like during the day. This guy during the day be chilling. He start working like at night. Like,
what does he do?
Obviously he's a scammer. Obviously he's a scammer, you know what I mean?
Well, so, of course, if he's a scammer, then he can't work 9 to 5. I mean.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, he be just chilling, like, you know, like, he be just chilling, like, doing his things during the day.
It's crazy, though, how they wait for people in the States to wake up so they can start working.
You know what I mean? And us, this side, we don't, like, most people, they just think of, like, okay, we just need to start working. You need to wake up at, like, 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning. You know, you get to work. You knock off at 5. You get to home. You cook. You sleep.
I respect how they twist everything.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then on the side, it's just opposite.
Sorry to interrupt you, see? But as much as they'd like to work at night, and we work during the day, there's no escaping the fact that time
it is still runs
the same,
still runs. But they just operate the opposite way.
They operate the opposite way.
Had they had a way, those people that they're scamming, if we shared like the same time, if they were
going to work during the day.
They were going to work during the day.
But some they do. Like, there's some who actually scam South Africans. There's some who scam within South Africans. You know what I mean? Like, because the other one that I know, Charlie's friend, and what he does, he hacks dealerships, car dealerships. So obviously he needs to work during the day. Because whenever you want to buy a car, before that your email gets to the car dealership, he already sees it. And then he swaps the bank account details. So by the time you think you're transferring your money to the car dealership, it goes to his account. Imagine.
See, someone using that intelligence for all that.
Imagine how he even thought of how does he even think of hacking the email? Like how do you hack someone's email? Like, especially a company's email. And they don't even see it. And they can still operate it on their side, and you can still operate it too.
So you see, the thing you were saying, like, the thoughts will just keep on going on.
Thoughts is there.
Because now they're going to find a way to block that. And from there, they're going to find a way to open it. Like, it's just, you know?
Yeah. So my point is, let's stay there. Let's not get away from the reality of thought is the creation of time itself, psychological time, right? So whether you're working during the day or at night, that process of thinking is happening. The process of bringing back memories. And then projecting a certain future.
Creating more opportunities.
Which both of them are illusory. The memories and the hopes are the same thing. It's illusory. So you are always running away from this, the moment, And the moment is actually when you are with yourself. If you start inquiring within yourself, you realize that, okay, that's what I am. I am division. The fact there's no way I can be there if conflict is not there. For I to be there, there must be a division. A thought that has convinced itself that it is separate from itself, which creates a division, which creates conflict. Because the division of thoughts is where hope comes into being, regret comes into being, desperation comes into being, seeking pleasure or avoiding pleasure. That's the whole movement of thought. We're not saying it's bad or good. That is the fact, right? So you realizing that, if you really look at it, and then you find out that, in fact, even me looking at this thing is still the same thing that is trying to act as if it is separate from itself. So analysis itself is the same process of thinking. You're trying to convince yourself that you've gotten away from that process, right? You're stuck.
You're stuck,
You feel stuck. So when you feel stuck, isn't it first of all, are you not even thinking because from the very beginning you felt trapped?
Yeah.
From the very beginning, thought itself realized its limitation.
It's a limitation, yeah.
And then it had to run away from the limitation by projecting something else, right? So as human beings, for instance, from the very beginning, thought realized its limitation and it had to make something bigger. So we created gods. We don't know what God is. We made an image of what God is.
Just made it believe.
Yeah. And then we said God made us through his image. That's our image. You can't talk about God without imagining something.
Yeah.
True.
Right? So.
And it's funny how we even think about God and we don't even, like, we can't even paint a picture of how he looks or how.
See, the very moment you even say he, you gotta use your words, even your intellect to talk about God. So it's your image. Back in the days, he was probably, you know, the father figure and so on. So we use it he. But maybe back in the days, if we had it could have been a she.
Satan is the she.
Yeah. Let's say Satan.
So image, so thought has projected itself, and then it said it is different from that thing that it has put there, which is God.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
Now, and then it hopes that at some point I'm gonna reach there. Without realizing that it's stuck in this thing forever.
Yeah, because thoughts
doesn't matter if you die.
Eh?
You die tomorrow. Thought is going on. Because we're here.
Yeah, thoughts are really, really, thoughts are something else. Because sometimes you can just chill and not do anything and just wait for God to do something for you because of a thought.
Yeah, because of hope.
Yeah.
It gives you hope.
It gives you hope.
So long as God is there, there's hope.
Yeah, there's hope.
Because without that, you feel like, you know, this sense of nothingness is too big. It's too, I can't face that.
Yeah.
I gotta imagine something.
You know what's crazy, guys? It's just talking. Did I tell you how I met Emmanuel? So, I was staying with a friend of mine, Southgate, right? And she was a bully. And, like, there's a lot of things that were happening that I didn't like. So I was like, how am I actually going to come out of this place? You know?
Yeah.
I don't want to be here. I don't want this friendship. But because there's no other alternative, I have to be here. And then I started praying. Something I hadn't done for, like, years. And I started praying inside my heart. So I was like, God, if you really exist, I'm so tired of you not showing up. Now I'm going to give up on you, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't show up for me today, I'm definitely I'm giving up and I'm going to kill myself so I can have peace, you know? And then we smoked and I'm like, no, man. Now that I was high, I started praying so hard. Guess what? Around 11, a random text from a guy I've never met. He's like, hi, I got your number from Lisa. I'm like, me and Lisa's not friends anymore. Why would Lisa give someone my number? And then he's like, yeah, I want to see you, you know? Oh, you're so beautiful. He started saying all the things that I needed to hear, right? So that I can be calm. And then I'm like, nah, I don't talk to strangers and I can't meet you because I don't know you. So I don't know even if you want to, you know, kill me or something. Then he was like, okay, fine. Let me prove myself to you. Pack your weekend bag and then I'm going to come pick you up. I started praying and 12 a.m. He was outside. I just said, it's God. I knew it's God. I'm not giving up on this, right? And then we went to his place. Before we could even get to his place, I was so paranoid in the car, right? And then we started talking. He was like, you know what? Whatever I wanted from you, I don't want it anymore. I just want to be your friend because I can see you going through a lot. And since that day, like, honestly, my life has never been the same, right? So after that, our friendship, like, became very strong to a point that everything that I was praying for that day, he was the one who was able to take me out and rent for me in 4 ways while he was even in Congo, right? He was the one to help me change my ways. But now that I see things differently, yes, it was good help, you know? And the whole thing of me thinking that it was God that did that. Dude, you're having a conversation with this person. You allowing him to give you ideas that, okay, maybe I should go. You understand? You've been giving people your number and now you want to believe it's some sort of a miracle. So now it's crazy when you talk about thoughts because if I didn't think that I want to come out of that situation, I'd still be stuck. It's not because I said, God, you understand?
Yeah.
Whether he came or not, I was still going to be out if I wanted to be out.
True.
So now, like, it's kind of sad, you know, when you think about how much time you've wasted. I'm sorry to say this. How much time you've wasted praying. You know, how much time. I'm just thinking about what you guys are talking about now. Like how much time you've sit and wished or hoped that something good would happen, and because you believe that there's someone out there, right, who can hear everything you're thinking about, but can still not change anything. You know, so it's very sad somehow.
So to me, prayer is an escape. As much as you telling me this story is an escape. See, you have to tell me this story because you feel if there's no thinking, let's forget about it's a podcast.
Yeah.
People have to watch
Yeah.
us and hear, you know, because we're here to talk. But literally, if there's no interaction, there's no thinking, you feel there's a sense of void. You can't stand that. That's where thoughts come from. It realizes that there's a distance of nothingness. It's completely unknowable. It's too immense, and I can't stand it. So I have to run, right? And it runs through what it knows. You can't stand the unknown. So Christians, Buddhists, or whatever cannot stand the unknown. We like to know. So we put God there, or we put Jesus, or we put Buddha, whatever. We like to know because this sense of I really do not know is terrifying.
True.
As much as if you did not, I mean, if it's survival, its own survival depends on knowing. You know, just like knowing what a snake is and a lion is. So psychologically, you've also wanted to know. You've given tremendous importance to knowledge.
True.
Because you feel there's a certain void that has to be covered. Now, what is that void?
You know, as you're talking, right? And I'm thinking, I'm trying to make sense of what you're
No,
saying.
no, I get it. Please, go
Right?
ahead. Yeah.
And then I'm like, but there's no way we can actually like have a conversation without having to think.
No, there is.
There is, I know,
No,
but
I know.
I'm just trying to make you understand what I'm thinking, right?
Mm.
And I'm like, but there's no way we can actually have a conversation without thinking, right? And then immediately I try not to think and I'm just quiet and then I'm following throughout the conversation. Then the very same void is talking about. It comes back and then it clashes.
Now,
like
that's what I call attention.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Right? Attention. Attention can only be there when there's no thought. Yeah. And for interest to be there, it means you are really just interested in what is happening. You're not calculating, comparing, projecting, which is a movement of knowledge, which is thought, right?
Yeah.
Attention has no movement. It is there. It's just pure, undivided attention. Not attention of something over some. That is being attentive of something. That is concentration.
True.
And that is division. Because when you concentrate, you are dividing. You say, I block out everything else. I'm concentrating on a mathematical equation.
Yeah.
You know, and then you're calculating, you're fighting with this x plus 2, and then the teacher, you know, is focus, is beating you as, you know, focus, concentrate.
Yeah.
That is conflict still.
True.
You are blocking everything else. But with attention, there's no center from where you are starting of me attending to that. There's just attention that is there. Which is that void, right? Which is that pure awareness. It is there. It is just listening. As I'm talking right now, you're not forcing to listen. You're completely free. In fact, what is blocking you listening is when you start thinking. When you
of course.
You start like
analyzing this.
Yeah.
But when you are listening, there's no effort. It comes from pure freedom.
True.
You're not making any effort to look at me.
Yeah.
Light is coming through
your
eyes.
Is there a way of listening without thinking?
In fact, listening can only be there when there's no thinking. So long as you're thinking, you are listening to yourself. You're blocking me.
Because, maybe I'm misunderstanding thinking and understanding.
Yeah.
Because when you're listening at the same time, there's this thing in your mind, like that's just trying to, like, do you get what I'm saying, though, ne?
I get you.
No, I get that. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, you see what I mean? Like even when a teacher is talking, right? Like, let's say at school, right? There's this thing in your mind that's that's processing, you know what I mean? Like, there's no way you can just, like, not think anything or whatever.
No.
Yeah.
That's natural. Let's say, because remember we started with, that is the case, that is a fact. Thinking is happening.
Yeah.
It is moving. You trying to stop thinking is creating more movement.
More thinking.
Yeah, don't try to do that. The fact of the matter is that's what's happening.
But isn't it crazy that just thinking alone blocks you from actually listening?
Yeah. It's
right?
It's the past, because attention is now. It's completely new. Finding out, learning.
Yeah.
But thinking is coming, bringing back what you already know. So you're missing out this moment here, right? And that void, what you call void, that sense of nothingness, that, okay, what is, what you're trying to run away from, is attention, right? And that attention has no center. That's the problem. You used to having a center because you are you. It's my memories, my mother, my name, boss. You can't get rid of that. It's me.
Yeah.
I'm Congolese.
Yeah.
You want to take that away from me.
You
See,
can't.
that is my center.
Yeah.
Right? So attention is dissolving that whole thing. It's taking it away. And then when you're there, you find yourself, you have nothing. You are completely nothing there. And that's what you're terrified of. Now, first, before maybe looking at why you're terrified of that, what is fear itself?
It's also a thought.
Yeah. Fear happens. So there's this fact here, right, which is nothingness. You denying the fact, creating an illusion, something that isn't real.
An escape.
Yeah, an escape has to create a contradiction. It's like, imagining that there's a step here. If I climb, I have to fall. There's something bad is going to happen.
Yeah.
So fear is you denying the only thing that is real.
Yeah.
You project something.
True.
So imagine I project a snake coming out of nowhere to bite me.
Only to
that
find
is
out
an illusion.
And then you start getting scared.
You get scared.
Yeah.
I mean, people that have psychological issues, like serious psychological issues, that's what happens.
Guys, then maybe I've been sick. I do that. I do that sometimes.
No, we are all sick in a way. Some worse than others. But thinking itself is very stupid. It's limited. It's illusory. So coming back to that attention. Attention is that sense of not being there, right? When you give a kid a toy, he's so obsessed, he's so attentive to the toy, he has forgotten himself.
Yeah.
He's not there. He is one with the toy, literally. Right? There's no division.
Yeah.
Right? That's how they learn.
True.
Kids learn way faster than any adults can learn.
And that's true.
Yeah. In the first 3 years, you learn more than you will ever learn in your entire life. Doesn't matter if you learn about the atoms and whatever, but the act of learning itself in the first 3 years are the highest. Because literally, your mind is not obsessed with thinking.
Yeah, like there's no lot of stuff to think about, you know what I mean?
Because kids are attentive. So when it takes a toy, he is a toy, right? So if you're attentive, then there's no longer me, Katleko, or Tutu. There's just something that is happening. We don't know what the heck that thing is, but there's that thing that apparently has found a way to make different people.
True.
Right? That has found a way to make space.
Because this is like acting. Because I have a friend who is an actor, right? Those guys, sometimes he gets caught up in the characters. Like sometimes he forgets himself. Like he forgets the person he is.
Yeah.
End up living. Because like if even when we go into like public places, right? He doesn't even like taking pictures with people. Like he's not the person that you see on TV and stuff. Like in reality, like he doesn't even want to take pictures. And now to us as his friends, we're working with him, you know, we feel some type of way because now those people, because now they are his fans. You see what I mean? And now they'll be telling us like, what's up with your friend? Why is he acting like this and stuff like that? And then to us, we're like, look, that's the person he is in like reality. It's not like the person you see on TV and whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he actually loses himself, you know, he forgets that he's famous in a way, you know what I mean? He forgets the thing, because now when in the streets, he just want to be himself, and now he can't. Because sometimes now he needs to pretend to act like he's cool with the fans and stuff.
Yeah.
Deep down himself, like he doesn't really like,
Yeah.
being that guy, yelled at or screamed at or whatever, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying, like you're actually right. Like this thoughts thing is actually deeper than what we think.
No, it's much deeper. It's serious.
It's actually
creating
deeper
a lot
than,
of problems.
it's deeper than what we think.
Crazy.
So,
yeah.
See, perhaps when you guys get to be alone, you can look at this. But as for the sake of moving on and talking about, because we have to talk about meditation, let's just go on, right? So, attention, that is attention. Attention has a sense of, there's not a me who is attentive. If you're thinking about you who's attentive, you're not attentive at all.
True.
It's like a man saying, I'm humble. For that second that you're thinking you're humble, you're arrogant.
Yeah.
So the same way, knowing that you're attentive, you are no longer attentive. You have captured an image of being attentive. You can never grab attention.
True.
Which means what? Coming back to now, you can never grab the now. That's what thinking is trying to do. Grab the immensity of now without realizing that in fact it's running away from it. The very desire of capturing that is making sure that you can never get to it. So the very desire of God is actually denying God himself. The very projection of God is completely, you're projecting yourself, your image.
True.
So when you're that attentive, you start finding out about yourself, but also finding out about everything basically, not just me, because if I'm learning about myself, I've learned about the whole of humanity. I am you in a way. I'm thinking, I'm always seeking pleasure, I'm scared, terrified of pain. I want money, I want more money than less money. There's this ambition in me, right? There's this sense of being better than others, even very subtly. It's there, even if it's very subtle.
Even though you try.
So in fact, even if you say, look, these people, man, they're bragging because they have money. I don't think money is that important. You're trying to be better. You've realized perhaps unconsciously that getting to that money is too complicated. But perhaps I can outrank them by being humble. So on that stage of humility, I'm best, I'm better.
True.
I'm the best.
So
there's this thing of comparison all the time, moving, which is thought. So, which means I'm learning about humanity, I'm not learning about myself. Right now, as we're talking, if you're looking at these things, you're literally finding out about the whole thing.
The whole,
So, that is attention. It's the act of learning, the wisdom of learning. You are literally seeing things exactly as they are. That's very difficult to do, to see yourself for who you are, with all your shenanigans, all your fears, your hopes and desperation, all your addiction. We are all addicted to something or another.
Of course.
Like that's true. Because right now, to be honest, I'm also thinking of smoking like a cigarette. That's what I'm saying. I forgot. Do you smoke cigarettes?
Sometimes.
Wow.
So, you feel like me being like this, this sense of nothing happening is too much. But smoking a cigarette brings something to me.
That is again running away from
it. It's again running away.
I don't know, like, is there a place closer here? Or
no, but we have to finish this though.
Oh, okay, cool. No problem.
I think we're almost done.
No problem, no problem,
So, thank God you're talking about this. So, you try to run away from it, and you create something, an escape. And then that escape becomes your own prison.
True.
Because now you can't do without it, right? And it's destroying you in a way. Please, bro, I'm not.
I hear you. But that's a fact, though.
It's a fact.
It's something like even all us as smokers, we know it. Like
it's a fact. We're just we're being honest with ourselves. So that's your addiction. I've got my own that perhaps I'm not aware of. But each of us have the people that go sleep in churches. They're addicted to that thing. The whole feeling of it. When you're going to church, the beauty of the church itself. The whole thing is it gives sense to your life. Something is moving.
True.
Or you're addicted to your wife or your husband, you don't want to let go. So that creates, not being attentive, you fall into those other traps.
Yeah.
But when you're attentive, now you start realizing what's really happening in its details, right? I am this, that's pure honesty.
True.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, even cigarettes, like, I dare you, whoever who smokes cigarette, if you ask them, like, do you wish to quit? They'll tell you, we wish to quit, like, so bad. But now, it's just that, like, it's just that thing, like whoever creates the cigarettes, I don't know what happened. I don't know how they thought about it. Because cigarettes, like, you become addicted to a point that it's, because yesterday, the whole day, I actually didn't smoke, right?
Yeah.
Because when I have, like, a hangover, that's when, like, cigarette becomes the worst thing ever.
It smells horrible.
It just smells horrible. Like, it's just the worst. Like, you don't even, like, I actually don't want to see it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but to be honest, the cigarettes, like, they actually help you to calm your nerves. Yeah, to be honest. Like, just like even when I'm tattooing, first thing that I want to do after tattooing is, like, smoking the cigarette. Or as soon as you start drinking, you know what I mean?
No, I've had friends, if they don't smoke, they start shaking a little bit. Very uncomfortable.
Yeah, especially, like, old people. Like, as soon as you get, that's why I actually wish to quit smoking before I reach, like, a certain age, like, before, like, I reach my 40s and stuff. Because when you get to that age, it becomes worse. Like, if you haven't smoked, like, you'll find them becoming even grumpy. Like, you'll find, like, my aunts become super grumpy if she didn't smoke. But as soon as you bring that box of cigarettes, everything changes. You're the favorite, like, you know? Yeah.
So we find very good, interesting escapes. And it didn't start now, it started from the dawn of time. Tobacco smoking has been there forever.
Forever,
right?
yeah.
So entertainment is also another sort of escape. We entertain ourselves.
True.
Storytelling. The whole world is run by the industry of entertaining, running away from yourself. A screen, so long as you've got a screen, you're not looking at yourself.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
But now you're starting to do that. You see who you are, what you're not, because you want to change it. You literally just want to find out who you are. You're attentive. Yeah. From moment to moment, of course you're going to be distracted, but from moment to moment you're realizing who I really am. The fact of the matter is I'm selfish. Selfish not because I don't want to share my bottle of water, but the self itself, which is thought, it's cultivating, it's protecting itself, right? It has created a center within yourself. Yeah, and the fact of the matter is I am selfish. Me trying not to be selfish is selfishness.
Yeah.
That's the fact.
But if you can look at it like that, you'll end up going crazy.
No. No, don't look at it. Don't jump to conclusions. You don't know, you haven't done it. So far you're good, yeah? So far you're good. We are in a safe place. I think all of us here, we know each other to some extent. No one is trying to trick you into anything. Yeah. So we are here, you are in good hands, right? But you realize that this is really who I am.
True.
There's no escaping that. And it isn't that it is me alone. I had the illusion at first that I was different, but now knowing myself, I realize that that's what's happening in them. They can camouflage it very well, but that's what's happening.
But now the thing is, you can't do it. I don't know if I'm using the right word, right? But before you can even do it, you need to be honest.
Yeah, honesty is very important.
Yeah.
You
so
have to be honest.
Not it becomes impossible.
Yeah, not honest in the sense that you're going to come and tell us your truth. But within yourself.
Yes.
You know that this person that I'm sitting with, really, I hate him. I'm completely jealous. I don't know why, but I just hate this person.
And you don't even know why.
Yeah. And then you start looking at it, and then you realize that, no, in fact, I wasn't jealous of him because he has more than me. I've just realized that I have an image of myself, and then I'd like to have the image that I'm looking at because he has more. So me hating him is because I feel like I don't have what I should be having. So ultimately, it is not him, it is me.
It's you you hate.
It's you. You hate yourself. You thought you hated him.
You had to know. And now there's no growth there because you're not going to even allow yourself to learn or to grow. Like legit. Because once you start having that mentality, like there's no way forward. Like you're just going to be stuck within yourself. You know what I mean?
So that's pure honesty, complete honesty, which means you're seeing things exactly as that. You will not accept any illusion.
No filter.
Now, so far, now this is meditation. Started from attention, now we're in meditation. Meditation is in concentration. What people are saying to others, it's something that I do. It's like almost there's life and then there's a meditation. So 15 minutes at some point, I'm going to sit down and
That's what I've always been trying to understand, like, because I've never tried it before.
That is I mean, you don't even have to try. You can see when something is stupid, it's stupid. I mean, you don't have to drink to see how a drunkard is. I mean, you don't want to go there.
True. Because I would see people saying they're meditating, and I was like, okay, like, how does it work? Like,
no, I think they got it wrong, probably because thought itself is what is dominant. So, of course, something had to happen. So, meditation isn't you sitting cross-legged and then singing some mantra or whatever, or with Christian, I don't know how they meditate. But it is not concentration of, I'm going to block everything away so I can focus on this.
So you just
block my thoughts, basically.
Another dimension.
Yeah. So you see, you start already with a projection of there's another dimension. You've already projected a dimension, an illusion.
Yeah.
Who knows? You'll probably get to that illusion. You convince yourself that, oh my God, I feel,
And what if you get there, you get stuck, and then you can't come out?
In fact, you're already stuck. You've already projected something, which is an illusion. You've projected yourself, and then you get there, you feel like, truth, this is truth. But it's illusion, right? So let's see what meditation is not first. It is not concentration. It is.
I feel you.
Like legit. Like I'm actually trying to think about
I know you're here, but you're like, what the hell? What the hell? I can just hear you from the other side. Like, what the hell?
Because I'm actually trying to think about this meditation because I've seen it before and I see people like doing it and it's talking about the third eye. You know what I mean? Like, so right now I'm trying to picture it as you're talking about it. Like, how, and as I'm looking at this whole background thing, you know what I mean? It just puts me there. I feel like I'm actually like meditating, you know what I mean?
You are meditating.
You are.
Nah?
This is meditation.
This is crazy. This is really crazy.
That's how I laughed the first time I realized, like, dude, you've been doing it the wrong way.
But you see how amazing this is, right? So you're removing the division, right?
Yeah.
Before you even had the illusion that, there's my day-to-day life, and then at some point I sit for 15 minutes, I concentrate to reach somewhere. That's meditation. But now you're realizing life itself is in meditation. The whole world is meditating. That's why the whole thing is moving. The whole world is expanding right now. It's literally seeking through what is going on, right? So you start realizing that. You see that, okay, fine, I am conflict. There's no way out of this trap. You give up on yourself because before, the trap is you. You are the limitation. Giving up on yourself, you become attentive. You start finding out about yourself, oh, this is why I'm limited. I don't even wish to be something else because wish itself, desire itself is my limitation. You give up on yourself, which means it's no longer personal. It's no longer
actions in it.
It's no longer a reaction. It's pure action, which has no beginning, no end.
No ending, yeah.
It's complete action.
Yeah.
There's no time involved in it, right? So you start, what do we know? This is day-to-day life, right? You don't start with imagination. Let's not talk about sleep. This is during the day. What is my day-to-day life? I wake up, there's repetition, I brush my teeth, right? I cook, I plan, I remember. Basically, the past is operating all the time. I had a podcast session today. I take a taxi, this is what's happening. The whole conflict, you can see conflicts in day-to-day life.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be there at 1, but somehow this taxi is not moving.
Yeah.
Do I go back home or not?
Yeah.
Let me talk to this person. Me on the other way around, spilling coke on my clothes, try to control, saying that they're going to be there. Oh my God, they're late. You on the other hand, you see, there's this whole action happening that you have no control over. Yet you want to control.
You want to control it, but at the same time,
right?
Yeah.
The more you try to control, the more chaos. Yeah. So you have regret, you have nostalgia, you have this sense of I need more and more. This sense of escaping, I need to smoke.
And the time it moves quicker because the more you start like the more something doesn't go according like maybe like how you planned it or how you thought about it, like just time just flies.
Yeah, because you're frustrated, right?
Yeah,
it's
like
that whole, because remember, thinking is what is movement. One thought to another thought. The first thought acting as if it is separate, it has separated himself without realizing it is still thought. So when that movement happens, when you're frustrated, that movement like now creates frustration. Right? Now that thing is uncomfortable, and you want to stop it, yet
but now it gets worse.
So
true.
That is what's going on, and that is time, because time is movement, right? From me walking from here to there. So psychologically, a thought to another thought is time. So of course, when you're thinking too much, time is flying. Right?
Do you know what's even crazy? Like the minute, I think was it our first? Yes. Like when I was trying to be so present, right? I'd fall asleep. Because now I'm trying not to think and I'm listening to you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Tutu, open your eyes. It even happened yesterday. I'm like, don't you dare open your eyes. You know, that's me also trying it. And then I'm like, okay, fine, come back, right? And then when I'm trying so much to focus on what's happening now, then again, it would happen. Until we got to that stage where we got to. So I'm just like, wow, it's crazy.
So unfortunately, we only have 2 hours today, but that's what I'm trying to do. Hopefully with time, we can go slowly within, and then something happens when you do these things.
True.
Yeah. True. And it's not an entertainment. It's not a game. It's not that there's something to gain. If you come with that mentality of there's something to gain or to lose, you're not doing it. You're actually not doing it.
True.
You're still stuck in your thing, in your pattern. Right?
Yeah.
So you have to give up. You have to die to all of that. You have to let yourself.
Even though we've got 2 hours, we can still.
No, let's. I think we're gonna get something. So meditation. That's also meditation. Whatever that is happening as I'm explaining this is meditation.
And the fun part is it 2 days back I had an interview with Daily Tata. I don't know if you know Daily Tata, right? So the whole topic, it was about like the regrets that you have every time coming back from the cruise, like the next morning. You know what I mean? Which is what almost, especially for guys, right?
Money is spent.
You understand? Especially for guys, like that's.
I think all of us.
You know what I mean? Or for you as a woman, you wake up at another man's place, and maybe you left your boyfriend by the house. It just happened that you just like this guy, but somehow, you know what I mean? And for us, Jen, we wake up there, we think like, damn. You know what I mean?
Sometimes you can say, why am I doing this?
You know what I mean? So that was the topic, and it just came suddenly, it was just us, like, so, the whole thing, you know what I mean? So it was, I was even shocked. I was like, how did they even think about that? Which is what's going on, you know what I mean?
It's like, exactly what's happening, going on, to be honest, the whole world is crying for help. They just don't know it, right? But that's why it's so important. That's why I'm saying this is not a joke. It's way, way above our head.
True.
And it's important for a man to go through this at some point or another. So
can I ask you something? What made you to actually think of this?
I think it's conflict. Conflict, see, when you pushed to a corner for so long, at some point the man had to say, what the heck is going on?
What's going on?
I remember what he said at first. He was like, you can say anything, you can ask anything you want, because he's not doing this alone. I'm not doing this. We're doing this together.
Yeah.
So
Together,
we're learning together.
Yeah.
Nobody actually knows anything. We just
And that's
So
very
this is like
important.
sharing
together.
knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This thing does not belong to anyone. It is there. Whether you take it or not, it is there.
It's there.
And if you have some sort of authority within yourself, whether it's you take me as if I know more, you're already lost. If you take yourself as if you know more, which means you're using again your knowledge, you're completely lost.
You're not going to learn.
It does not belong to anyone. It cannot be touched.
This is actually lit. I actually didn't think about it like that, you know, because in my mind, to be honest, right, I actually thought is that type of like that question, you know, like question to question type of thing,
Like
you know what I mean? Yeah, you know, like all these other, you know what I mean? Like that. But the way it is actually lit.
Like
no, I don't.
Like it's actually lit.
I think it's a very.
You know what I mean?
The thing, I feel like the thing itself is talking maybe through us, right? For instance, that's why I never have a topic.
But to me,
the
it's
guy
scary.
yesterday gave us a topic. Just by asking a question, we started with that, and then
this is actually
it's
amazing.
Scary though. Do you know why?
Yeah.
Because it feels like when you leave your house, you know, boss, you know the seho, right? But when you get here, you actually realize that you don't.
Yeah, you don't.
You're just seeing a different person. You're like, what? Who's
Yeah.
this?
Yeah. Because
looking with eyes of not knowing, that's the most intelligent thing to do. It's scary, I know.
Yeah.
But to be honest, we don't know what the heck is going on.
True.
Dude.
Yeah. True.
With knowledge, we've kind of like kept
because
it under control.
You know, so someone who doesn't understand what you're saying, you sound like you're crazy.
Because like, to be honest, this takes me back to, like, this gives me a feeling of like back in school. Like, to be honest, like it gives that feeling, you know, like of
it's
going
like you're
back.
learning again.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. So that's why I'm like, this is actually.
And you see the amazing thing.
Yeah.
This never gets old. It's never been a second old.
Yeah.
Time is not involved there.
Yeah.
So you will always have this feeling of, you know, I'm finding out. Whether it's now or 4 years from now, it will always have that feeling. That's the beauty of it, you know.
That's what I'm like. This is so amazing.
So anyway, so I was saying meditation, right? So this is meditation. Don't take it as something separate from your day-to-day life. So you see it, you know, this is what we do during the day. There's conflict and this and that, right? After here, we have a plan. We have an imagination of what's going to happen. You know, maybe we're going to eat something and so on. Come back. Monday is hitting. Work has to go on, you know. So, so there's that day-to-day action that is happening. We are always reacting to something that is happening.
True.
According to the past. It's a reaction thing. We've never known what action is. Perhaps we find out what action is, but we are reacting. We are conditioned. We have hopes. We have ambitions. That's our daily life. You see it exactly as it is, you know. From time to time, you don't have to make it a job, please. You already have too much trouble. You need money. There's your family. Don't make it another problem. If you're distracted doing something, do it. When it comes to you, it is there, right? Then you go to sleep, right?
No, everything is just...
Now, you go to sleep, there's this thing of dreaming. Why? Then you ask yourself, why do I dream? I've understood my daily life. This is what daily life is. Then I go to sleep. Then somehow it goes on. There's some sort of action that is happening somehow, somewhere. If you're attentive enough, you call it a dream. When you wake up, you say, oh, I dream of that. Elaine was chasing me.
So dreaming for me, I actually think it's like maybe your unfinished task.
Your unconscious affairs that you're keeping down there.
Yeah.
Your secret.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Now it comes.
Now because there, you're much more quiet. It's there, the whole thing comes alive.
Comes alive, yeah.
Because it says enough is enough. And I don't know if you've never noticed, before you go to sleep, your mind wants to put order.
Yeah,
you want to say, okay, I was talking to that
it's
guy,
just
but I said,
you analyze everything.
Saying I was talking to Tutu, but I think I was a bit rude. Oh my God, I should have said it differently. Tomorrow, I have to meet that guy. I definitely need to be on time. Do I have enough money, you know?
Yeah, true.
So you try to...
Right now, I actually feel like I was supposed to be here yesterday, like, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, but now...
No, leave it. Leave that.
Like
it was supposed to be that way.
That's what I'm saying. Because now, that's what I'm saying, like, I should have came even though I was feeling that way. Either way, this is all about like, like daily lives. No, it's all
daily
life. You know what I mean?
There's no breaking it. It isn't that you do it when you're healthy or when you you do it.
That's what I'm saying.
It is
That's
there
what
happening.
I'm saying.
Right? So you go to sleep. Before you go to sleep, you realize that the mind wants to put order. It hates disorder. It says, I do not want disorder in my life. I want to fix it. I was talking to Tutu, I was rude. That is not okay. So it says, tomorrow this is happening. It's projecting, it feels unsafe. I need to know what's going to happen. I need to plan. That happened. Quickly, you don't realize it. In fact, sometimes you even want to run away from it to put earphones on because maybe you want to sleep and so on. So the mind wants order all the time. During the day, that's what it's asking for. At night, just before you sleep, if you're attentive, you can hear yourself thinking about what happened wrong and how you can fix it, right? But still, it's another disorder because what are you using? Thinking. There's another, it's still disorder there. Then you sleep, right? Now the whole thing now comes to be, because there you are quiet. You are not thinking, you're not attaching your shoelaces, you're not cooking. The whole body is resting, you're not moving too much, you're completely quiet.
The quiet, right?
So the mind naturally also becomes quiet. And now the thing, the mind flashes back. Now start going through everything, you're unconscious, especially the deep hidden things. And when I say unconscious, again, I don't want to divide it into the conscious and the unconscious. The unconscious to me is the hidden motives.
Doing something unaware.
Let's say you did something horrible, maybe 2 days ago. It's so horrible, you even don't want to face it. So you're always running away from that thing. That is the unconscious, the thought that you keep hiding. So there, because it's so quiet, the thought is not moving too fast. There's a realization, the thing comes to be exact. It's so vivid, you see it.
It feels alive, actually, to a point that you can actually feel it too.
Because the fear of, let's say, I stole Tutu's money yesterday. She doesn't know it. People have been talking about it. The shame of being discovered, it's too much. I hide it. It's the unconscious. So when I go there to sleep, it comes back to life. And now there I imagine, because I'm imagine if they caught me, it would be this shame. So now I see it exactly how it would be, right? It's alive, and then you call it a nightmare, right? But it's the mind, because the mind is so used to the same pattern of during the day conflict, then at night the conflict goes on. Since you're very calm, you can see it, you call it a dream. It's almost as if it's real, right? Now, when you've done this kind of we've got 5 minutes.
Okay.
No ways.
When you've done this kind of meditation, which is no control, you have no sense of control, you've understood the illusion of control. It isn't that you become irresponsible, you cross the road
without even unaware,
you have that pure intelligence that is operating, right?
So there's something that I actually want to understand, right? What causes like deja vu? Like, let's say you dream of something and then it happens.
I'm getting there. I don't know if we're going to have enough time though, but so you've done this sort of meditation, which is literally attention, just living, being completely alive. Then you sleep. What happens when you sleep?
So
because you've been very awake.
Going on.
During the day you've seen thought, it was you've seen it, how it works. Now when you go to sleep, I'm assuming that attention should stay there as well. Because you know it. Before, here during the day, we used to running away from that nothingness, that attention itself, right? But then at night, now you sleep, but your mind knows it. You're familiar to it. Because now you're not scared of yourself anymore. Now there you sleep. And now you see the thing itself exactly how it is, with no illusion, because you've rejected all illusions during the day. You will not accept any illusion. So in your dream, you will not accept any illusion there as well. Then there's this very weird attention that happens. No word can describe it, No possible English can describe this.
Yeah.
But all I can say is it's some funny attention that happens where the mind sees itself, which is attention. It sees itself exactly how it is.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
Yeah.
It's as clear as day.
Yeah,
right?
like exactly. Like you just see.
And then it sees what it's doing, right? How it is creating all this projection, which you call dream, right? But in fact, it is not a dream. It is pure creation at its deepest level, right? And then you see it exactly, and then it knows that what I'm looking at here, basically what I'm looking at here is me. I'm creating this. I've made the illusion that I am separate. There's this guy here who's there, and then there's space and there's time. There's a cockroach. There's a cockroach sheet. There's the whole thing. There's no single question over there. It sees itself exactly how it is.
Like you even get surprised, and you can also feel it. Like I've actually done this before. Because sometimes
now you see, if you have a sense of deja vu, then it means you were not attentive. Because then you realize there's no such a thing as sleeping. You have the illusion that I go, I sleep. Right? But you never realize that in fact sleeping is thinking.
So
when you are thinking, that's when you are asleep. But seeing this moment here, that's when you are awake.
Shit.
So thinking is illusion. It's illusion. It's those crazy dreams you have, those nightmares. But being alive,
and the funny part is
seeing is
I
attention.
actually hardly dream. Like I hardly dream. That's why every time when I dream, I actually hardly dream. I can go like the whole month without dreaming anything. But when I dream, it's actually something like that's like something.
Now when you
that's
sleep,
really
what
happened.
happens?
I totally shut down.
Now that's the thing. When you go to sleep, it's not shutting down. In fact, that's when you really wake up. If you're attentive, if you meditate in the way that we've spoken, call it meditation for the sake of argument. When you go to sleep, then you see the thing itself wakes up. It's like taking a break from all this nonsense, all this conflict, never-ending conflict. Now, when that happens, you see it how you're doing it. There's no conflict because you are everything. There's no thing, which means no separate thing. That's what I mean by nothingness. There's nothing, right? So, a guy who sees that, I'm going to say comes back here because I don't have, that's the language.
True.
And then you see this conflict, what do? You have to shout, you have to talk. You see people that are completely confused. So you have to say, okay, look, guys, let's sit down, let's talk, let's do a podcast. And hopefully one guy, somehow, somewhere, one day will get it, you know? And that's good enough. One guy seeing this thing. But it can't be given to you. You have to actually do the job.
But realizing that you've actually been gone, you know? And actually realizing that now you're here, it's scary for me, guys. Like, I can't shake off the feeling. You know that scary feeling you get inside, like, you feel so cold. That's how I feel right now.
No, you know what? I can't explain to you what that thing is. It's like I have a diamond, you know, and you have, you know, I don't know, a very beautiful thing in my pocket. And I'm just trying to say, please, guys, you know, look at this thing.
Look at it,
Because I'm as limited as you are here, you know. But I can't explain, I can't even begin to tell you how it is. You know, seeing the whole world as you know, a mirror. You see how the whole thing is created, creation itself, you know. Even the body itself, space, time, illusion, fears, the whole thing, it's so orderly that I believe a man not seeing that your whole life, you've lived in hell your whole life, and there's no escaping that. Because thought is not going anywhere.
Because that's what, this other question they once asked me, like, what if?
I think we had the guy, we can go on after, but I think we're done.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was about to say.
No, we'll talk, we're still together.
Okay, cool. No problem.
No, thanks a lot for coming, guys.
No, you're welcome, man. This is really...
I think we're all good. Thanks a lot, brother.